guys, it's Ashley, and today I'm going to be doing the tattoo book tag. I saw Tilly from Tilly and Her Books do this tag quite a few months ago, almost a year ago at this point I think probably, and I saw that and I knew I had to do it because I've got tattoos and I love books and it just seemed like a wonderful thing for my channel. So I'm going to go ahead and do this tag. It is a series of 9 questions altogether relating to both books and tattoos, so we're just going to go ahead and get started. Oh, and I'll leave a link to Tilly's video in the description box down below, as well as the original creator's video if I can find it. Question 1 is, how many tattoos do you have? And I have 9. I have the book right here, which was totally inspired by Tilly, and I will 100% give her credit for that. I have peace sign right here. I've got some on my back, 1, 2, 3, 4 on my back. You probably can't see them. Oh look, you can see them. See? There they are. And here is the other side. Woohoo! So there's my back, and then I've got some on my ankle. I have a dragonfly, which I got with my mom, a quote from Catcher in the Rye, and on my other ankle I have a quote from To Kill a Mockingbird. Question 2 is, do you have any book tattoos? Yes, I do. I have 4. I have, like I said, I have the book here. So I have, right here is the green light from The Great Gatsby. And I have that, and that was like my 3rd tattoo ever. And then I've got, I can't hike it up and show you, but I've got the quote from Catcher in the Rye, which says, "It's history, it's poetry," which is from a longer quote about life from Catcher in the Rye that a professor says. And then on my other ankle I have the quote, "Delete the adjectives," from To Kill a Mockingbird, which is one of my favorite quotes of anything of all time and one of my favorite tattoos that I have. And the full quote is, Atticus said that if you delete the adjectives from people's sentences, you would have the truth. So I kind of try and live my life like that because it's absolutely 100% true. Question 3 is, how old were you when you first got into reading, and how old were you when you got your first tattoo? I was super young when I first started reading. I was like 3 years old, I think, when I first started reading, because my grandma would teach me because she would babysit me, and she's a huge bookworm herself. And then I really got to be a bookworm probably around 7. I read the Anne of Green Gables series, and that really made me the bookworm that I am today. And so that was just, you know, made me the entire human you see before you in front of the camera. So that is the answer to that part. And then my first tattoo is the sparrow on my back, and I got that when I was 20. It was my 3rd year of college, and I had just moved to university from a community college, and I was on my own, and I wanted to get something because myself and my family had been missing my grandpa, and so I wanted to get something for my grandpa after he passed away a couple years later. So I got my sparrow, and that was my first tattoo. Question 4, what is the longest book you have read and the longest sitting for a tattoo? The longest book I've read probably is Moby Dick. I read that when I was like 13. I think I was an 8th grader, and that's probably still the longest book I've ever read. And then the longest I've ever sat for a tattoo was the orchids that are on my back, and that was not even that long. That was probably an hour in total. Oh, I just realized I have 10 tattoos because I have this one right here that is for my husband. It's a compass for my husband. He's got a compass on his arm, like on his bicep, with an A in the middle for Ashley. And I've got this little compass, and it's gonna have an B right here for Brad, my husband. I just got this like 2 months ago. Oh my god, it's been 4 months actually, and I totally forgot I have this tattoo. So I actually have 10 tattoos, my bad. But anyways, the longest I ever sat for a tattoo was an hour. That's not very long at all, I know. This was the shortest. It was 2 minutes. Literally like 120 seconds for this tattoo. So that was the shortest. And the biggest reason for that is because I'm a chicken. I don't like pain, and so I don't like getting tattoos that make me have to sit through being under the needle for very long. And if I do it in chunks. So I still have to finish my orchids because I chickened out after an hour and told him to finish coloring it in another session. So that's why I have really shortly timed tattoos. Current favorite book and tattoo. My current favorite book is probably The No You Never Listened To by Maggie Royer, which is a book of poetry that I read in May, and it is so affecting and so good. I've been recommending it to everybody I know, both in real life and on the internet. It is fantastic, and I highly recommend you go check it out. It is a series of poetry that is all about surviving sexual assault, and if you can stomach that sort of stuff, it is very affecting and very just brave, pretty much, and it just connected with me super easily, and I highly recommend it. It's very well done. My current favorite tattoo, if we're talking my own tattoos, I don't know, I really can't pick because I really do like this one. It's so simple, and it was about time I got something for my husband because I have a tattoo for my mom and my best friend, but I didn't have one for my husband for the longest time. We've been married for 6 years. So I really like this tattoo. It's very simple, but I also really like my dragonfly tattoo that I got with my mom. We got a dragonfly because of the dragonfly in and from Gilmore Girls, and my mom and I are the biggest Gilmore Girls fans ever. So I love that one, but I also really love the stuff on my back. I love my ballet tattoo, and I love my orchid tattoo and my Great Gatsby tattoo, so I really can't pick. I can't. Don't make me do that. Favorite style of tattoo and favorite genre of book. My favorite style of tattoo are the watercolor style tattoos, and not every tattoo artist does those because it's a very particular way of tattooing a person, and the ink is a little bit different, I believe. And I don't really have anything that I want in watercolor style, but I really like seeing it on other people because I think it's just very artistic and beautiful, and it's like having a work of art on your skin. So that's really amazing to look at. And my favorite genre of book is magical realism. Question 7. Aren't you worried about how those will look when you're 60? No, they're gonna look awesome when I'm 60, and you all will be jealous when you're 60 and don't look as cool as I do. And the second part of that question is, why do you always have your nose in a book? And what are you sick of reading? I always have my nose in a book because it's better than reality, and that's that. And I am sick of reading probably young adult contemporary because I feel like I've read it all at this point. I mean, until Benjamin O'Leary Science comes out with that second Aristotle and Dante book, other than that, like, I'm pretty much tapped out for a young adult contemporary at this point. Yeah, that's pretty much it. 8. How has tattooing and booktube and book clubs affected you? Tattooing hasn't really affected me, except that I feel like it shows little parts of me. You know, every single tattoo I get is something meaningful to me. My book, obviously I'm a bookworm. I have my favorite books tattooed on me. I have something for all the most important people in my life, and I'm hoping to get more for a couple more important people in my life. And so they haven't really affected me, but I really think that they affect how I show myself to other people. And I'm really proud of like the parts of my skin that have tattoos. So I tend to, as you can see, I tend to wear things that have no back because I love how like beautiful I think my back looks. And then booktube and book clubs have affected me majorly. My life is so much different because of booktube. I love being a part of this huge community that is so dedicated to books and is putting out amazing content. Even the small channels, they're so personalized, and you really get to know a person and their personality based on booktube, and I think that's just fantastic. I made some great reader friends through booktube and Tumblr and Goodreads and all these other bookish social media, so it's hugely impacted my life. And lastly, any advice to newbies of booktube or tattoos? My advice to newbies of tattoos would be to, if you have an idea of something that you want, write it down and wait a year. If you still want it in a year and it hasn't changed at all, then you should get it. If you keep changing it within that year, wait until you've finalized your idea for the tattoo and then get it a year after that. Don't go into it because they're forever. You know, once you get it, you can't go back. And my advice for booktubers would just be keep putting out content as often as you can. I know that with work sometimes and kids and everything, it gets really hard to put content out, and that's fine. Live your life and do what's comfortable for you, but post as often as you're comfortable with, because the more content you put out there, the more opportunities you have to reach out to other amazing people in this community like yourself. So that would be my other piece of advice. And that's it. That is the bookish tattoo tag. If you are a booktuber and you have tattoos, I tag you to do this tag, and you should link your video in the comments down below so that I can check it out. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Happy reading.